Hey, thanks for checking out the video. This is DM Tips for Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, Chapter 2, Seagrow Caves. There will be spoilers here abounding, so if you're a player, please come back after you've played the adventure. Let us know how it went. The adventure is for character levels 1 or character levels 2, depending on if the characters did first the Cursed Shipwreck, or if they're doing this first. The page references are to the adventure booklet, and currently the only place you can get this adventure is at Target, but it should be coming out in wider release pretty soon. Okay, so let's look at pacing for the adventure. The whole starter set should probably run about 3-4 hour long sessions. And in the first session, there is the players arriving at Dragon's Rest, and they're getting their quests there at Dragon's Rest. The second half of the first session could be Seagrow Caves, or it could be the Cursed Shipwreck. Session 2 would be whichever of those two the party did not do first. And if it is being done, if Seagrow Caves is being done as all of Session 2, I'd recommend adding in some of the encounters that happen on the island from page 14, exploring the island. So the Seagrow Caves will take hours 2 through 4. If you finish that up early, when the party returns to Dragon's Rest, you can throw in the zombie Resurgence encounter if you haven't used that already. The music that you're listening to, this is coming from Myconid Colony from Tabletop Audio. Right there, Myconid Colony. This is on their Patreon now, but I'm sure it'll be in wide release real soon. And it seems definitely inspired by this adventure. The map that I'm showing, zoom out on the whole map here. This is from the adventure, and I actually took it from a tweet that Mike Schley did, and I'll put a link to the tweet in the description below. And there's Seagrow Caves there, the Wreck of the Compass Rose there. All right, for tokens, took a couple of tokens specific for this adventure. I have a Sprout here that I created, and I have the Spore Servant Octopus there. I'll put both of those in a tweet and put a link to the tweet in the description of the video below too. Then there's a couple of cool images for the adventure. There is the battle with the Octopus Spore Servant that takes place at the entryway. And then there's a picture of a bunch of the Myconids in the caves. All right, let's go through the adventure. Oh, and the knowledge checks for the adventure. Let's see what we have in this part here. In the entryway, actually the room 2, they might be able to spot some heartcap mushrooms that they can use. In B3, they might be able to spot the Sturge nest before the Sturges attack. In B5, they might be able to spot the glowing red fungus that they can use to make an elixir of hell. And that's it for the B section. This quest starts in the Cloister quests on page 12 with the Sea Caves, and it says Tarek is eager to re-establish contact with the Myconids of the Sea Caves, and he asks the characters to visit the caves, find out what's wrong with the Myconids, and bring him back some heartcap mushrooms. He warns them about the fungal octopus the Myconids have created as a guardian, and tells them they'll probably have to fight the creature. He also gives them a foul-smelling sack of food scraps they can give the Myconids as a gesture of friendship, and this will give them advantage if they make a persuasion check when they arrive. And finally, he gives them 2 potions of healing, which the party can definitely use during the adventure. When the party arrives to interact with the Myconids and makes their first contact with the Myconids, barring any other circumstances, it would take a DC 20 charisma check to get the Myconids to become indifferent to the characters. They actually start out as hostile, not maliciously hostile, but hostile in that they don't want the characters in their caves. If the party can get them to indifferent, then the Myconids will explain to them what's going on here. If the party brings the stuff from Tarek and mentions Tarek, they can have advantage on that check. Still not a guarantee. The other last surefire way to get in the good graces, or at least neutral graces of the Myconids, is if they fight the fungus, the violet fungus at the entry cave, and the Myconids witness that, then the Myconids will be indifferent and offer to tell them what's going on here. Now, what can the Myconids share once the party talks to them? Well, the Sprouts know only that their leader is sick, and that it smells bad in the caves. The adults know that the Crystal Cave, which is the far western cave, is the source of the foul odor, and that their leader fell ill after going into the cave to find out what was going on. The Myconids don't go there normally, because there's normally sunlight that comes into that cave. That'll be important, because when the party gets there, there's no sunlight there, and hopefully they'll realize they need to remove what is blocking the passage to the sunlight. All right, so let's go encounter by encounter through the caves. When the party first arrives, they're going to be coming into area B1, and if it's a low tide, there'll be a walkway they can follow. If it's high tide, it'll be all submerged. They'll have to swim to get there or use their boat to get there. Guarding the place is this Spore Servant Octopus. Big, dumb brute. Not exactly like an octopus because it can't grapple. Still pretty vicious for a first level party. For a second level party, they will also face a couple of Sturges. Once that encounter is done, or they sneak past it, they come to this rather large cave that's like a farm for the Myconids. There's a couple sprouts that are tending some of the plants there, and a couple of adults that the party does not initially see. When the party first gets to the top of the steps, they are also accosted by a violet fungus. These violet fungus can be pretty vicious. They can make up to 4 attacks, and each of those attacks does d6 plus 2 damage. So the encounter has the party facing one of them, and then more will arrive in future rounds, and you can kind of tailor that to how bad or how good the fight's going. For first level, there should be 3 total, and for second level, there should be 5 total. Assuming the Myconids see this fight, that'll let the party get to the indifferent state with the Myconids, and the Myconids will offer to escort them into caves. If the party gets to this cave here, this is where sprouts are gathering some food for all the plants. This is also a Sturge nest in here that the party can take out. Inside the Sturge nest, I don't think there's any treasure. No, there's not specifically any treasure, but definitely a good place if you're adding more treasure to put some more. In B4, this is main living area, I'd say, for the Myconids. Most of them are sickly, though, so only 2 of them should probably react if the party, for some reason, is attacking. Hopefully the party's not attacking. And then B5, this is where the sovereign of the Myconids is, and the party can find out a little bit more about the Crystal Cave and hopefully go bring the blight to an end on the Myconids. So to the west over here is the Crystal Cave. When the party gets there, they'll see the purple stones, they'll see the fumes. They should see streaks of fumes and this crystal that's blocking the exit. Hopefully they'll go over there and smash the crystal. Of course, they'll be attacked on the way by some of the fume drakes that are guarding the place, that are lurking amid the sulfurous fumes. And when they break the crystal, they'll release the fire snake. If they're doing second level characters, there'll be 3 fume drakes and 2 fire drakes. The only real treasure here is if the party can take out the fungus with Sinesta, they can get the elixir of health. If they take some heart-capped mushrooms out of area B2, they can get some potions of healing. They get the 2 potions of healing they start with, and there's some obsidian chunks that come from this crystal that they get as treasure. At the end of the session, they will gain a level to become either level 2 or level 3. And that's the end of Seagrow Caves. I hope you guys all have a fun time running this. It looks to be fun. I'm going to be running it here in the next couple days.